Well, if you want to make the playoffs out west, you cannot have a long slide. The Spurs had issues early in the season. The Clippers are in a bit of a lull now. Both of those teams fighting, hold on to their spots in the standings. Welcome to Game Time. Chris Miles here with Sekou Smith, Mike Fratello. Great to be here with you this MLK weekend. The Clippers were in first place in the Western Conference standings on December 4th. They entered Sunday in 8th place. It's hard to maintain out west. Clippers look to try to stop their 5-game losing streak in San Antonio against the Spurs team with the second-best home record out west. DeMar DeRozan back after missing Friday night's game at Minnesota, just 4 of 16 from the field, 8 points. On the other end, Tobias Harris leading the way.
Tobias Harris was simply sensational. This is a guy who carried this team on his back, winds up making open shots, and he did much more than that. He wound up defensively doing a really good job, helping them come up with loose balls, helping them come up with steals, interceptions, which got them easy buckets.
Patrick Beverley also with 18 points for the Clippers. They're ahead by 10 when LaMarcus Aldridge. That L.A. doesn't mean he's playing for the L.A. Clippers. It means he's LaMarcus Aldridge, the man working inside for the Spurs, Sekou.
Yeah, and when he plays big, the Spurs have opportunities they don't otherwise have. It's just a fact. He and DeMar DeRozan both masters of the mid-range, and when he's got it cooking, you got to watch out.
30 points, 14 rebounds for LaMarcus Aldridge. Clippers building on that lead in the third quarter. Is Marco Bellinelli hitting a long two for the Spurs, cutting that deficit down to 8.
One of those keys, the three-point shooter, Bellinelli.
And Rudy Gay, 19 points, 8 rebounds, makes it a 5-point game. Into the fourth, it's Tobias Harris. Came into this game struggling a bit over his last couple. 17 points in his averaging 17 points over his last 3 games. Scored 27 in this one, and a career-high 9 assists. Closing this one out for the Los Angeles Clippers, who snapped their season-long 5-game losing streak, the 103-95 victory. When you put up stats like that for Tobias Harris, he's the one doing the interview after the game. So Tobias Harris just 1 rebound, 1 assist away from triple-double. Also 3 steals. He was incredible for the Clippers.
When you look at some of the stuff that he did outside of just making shots, you realize that this was a total contribution for him. Watch the steal, and now watch decision-making time. Pass it, I'm going to take on all 3 of those dark jerseys and convert. Clippers come up with a rebound, get it to you-know-who, Tobias. Does this look familiar right now? 3 more black jerseys back there, but once again, he takes it right to the rack. Now they run a little play where they come back at the end and screen down on him, get him behind the 3-point line. He knocks that one down. And to show that you want to stay on top of him, they'll throw it over your head, get inside, muscle it up, and 1. Harris giving you a little bit of everything.
And Tobias, he gets a lot of the acclaim and well-deserved for the Clippers, but Danilo Gallinari now out for them. Who else is stepping up in really providing a spark?
Well, guys, I think it's been a group effort all season long for these Clippers, different guys at different times. But it's hard to ignore the contributions Avery Bradley makes to this team. Such a subtle, fantastic fit on this team from a defensive standpoint, Coach. Undersized, you would say, against a guy like DeMar DeRozan, but he's such a pest. And at his size, with his athleticism and timing, he gives them a guy who can get underneath a bigger 2-guard like DeMar DeRozan. The other part about it is don't sleep on Avery Bradley's ability to knock down shots and be a potent player on the offensive end. He did that in Boston, did it on a regular basis in Boston, became a very important part of what they were doing. Now he's doing the exact same things for the Los Angeles Clippers.
I think Doc realized the importance of this game after losing 5 straight. When you look at the starters, 3 of the 5 played in the 40-minute mark, 41, 43, 45, in that area. That's a lot of minutes right nowadays with the way teams are playing.
And we came into this show talking about the Clippers and how that 5-game losing streak has cost them in the standings. Now it's the Spurs who have lost 3 of their last 5. DeMar DeRozan in that stretch not looking as great as he looked early in the season, and you see his shooting really an issue for him right now. Should the Spurs be concerned with the way that DeMar DeRozan's playing, especially sitting out a game with a sore ankle?
It's a long season, and you have to factor in there's an adjustment period that any player would go through, Coach. Being inserted into a different system after all these years, having to learn all of the nuance of that system. And also, teams are getting a chance to see him maybe for the second time around now in a Spurs uniform. so they can now attack him differently than they were earlier in the year.
How about the ankle, too? Think about DeRozan's shots. So many of those where he's pushing off on one leg to get that shot off. That could be part of the reason.
Well, Lonzo Ball also suffered a recent ankle sprain, grade 3 against the Houston Rockets last night, and will miss the next 4 to 6 weeks. The Lakers point guard has started 45 games this year, averaging just under 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Victor Oladipo got his first All-NBA nod at the end of last season. His Pacers are holding strong in the East. We'll hear from him next on Game Time. All-Star game coming up. Let's take a look at fan voting so far. Oh, look out west. Derrick Rose, Luka Doncic leading the fan votes over recent MVPs, James Harden and Kevin Durant. In the East, Dwayne Wade might be the biggest surprise. He's currently second amongst guards. The 37-year-old, of course, is a fan favorite and is retiring at the end of the season. Recently, some current players told us who their all-time starting 5 would be.
You want to start a fun debate?
The starting lineup.
All-time starting 5.
Oh, all right.
It's tough. It's super tough. There's too many to choose from.
Well, that's an argument you can get from east to west.
It's a Nixon unloaded green swing left. The right-hand skyhook of 12 is good.
He can't do a thing. Bird, turnaround, hit.
I think that's what the fans came to see.
MJ.
I don't think I can pick 5 to do it justice. You gotta go by position. Magic at the 1. I'm going with Magic. Magic at the 1. Magic Johnson. Magic for sure. Magic Johnson.
Did he make a miraculous shot? Yes. Has he ever done it before? You bet he has.
My 1 of the Steve Nash should be my 1. Kyrie Irving at the 1. Jordan at the 2. Michael Jordan. MJ. Mike. Michael Jordan be a 2. Gotta go with MJ.
Jordan to the circle, puts the shot in the air. Oh, the game's over.
I go Kobe at the 3. Kobe Bryant. I'd have to go with Kobe. I would say Kobe. I'm probably go with Kobe on the other wing.
I just see. Run out by Kobe Bryant.
I got LeBron at the 3. LeBron James, LeBron James. At the 3, I'll probably say LeBron. LeBron at the 4. LeBron at the 4.
For the win, yes! LeBron James!
I gotta put the big fundamental in there, Tim Duncan. Probably Tim at the 4. Timmy D at the 4.
Birdman took a shot and Duncan throws it down.
I'm going Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley. I'll probably go with my boy KD at the 4. Let's say Malone. Come on. Dirk at the 4. Dirk. Hakeem Olajuwon at the 4. At the 5, I'd say Wilt. Wilt Chamberlain. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Hakeem. 5 would have to be Shaq. Gotta go with the big fella, right?
The run out to Shaq.
I got Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq. Shaq at the 5.
And the debate will continue.
That's a list I gotta really think about. I can say start at 6.
The starting 6 sounds like a
that.
really interesting idea because all-time starting 5 is different than the top 5 discussion, right? Because you're factoring position and fit and just guys you want to pick. So Sekou will allow you to go first.
Well, I agree with a lot of those guys. I don't think you can start a team in this league or in this game without Magic Johnson at point guard. To me, that's just a no-brainer. Michael Jordan, the GOAT, as my 2 guard. Or if we're going to play positionless, why don't you give me KD and LeBron at the forward spots and then give me the guy who I think cradle to the grave, coach, the greatest player in the history of the game, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, holding down the middle.
Well, I like a lot of the people on your team.
I would hope so.
I think they probably could have a decent game against our team. Okay, because...
Decent.
So who you got to beat his team then?
Well, let me explain something to you. Everybody's thinking about small ball and shooting threes. I'm going the other direction. I'm going to beat everybody up and then never get an offensive rebound. And if we miss a shot, We're getting all kinds of offensive rebounds. But I want you to see my team, which is a special group of guys.
Wow.
Okay, you see my group out there? You got Shaq, you got Chamberlain, you got Bill Russell, you have Kareem, and I borrowed Tim from the power forwards to bring the ball down the floor. We're playing 2-3 zone. We're switching everything. If you decide you're going to foul us, put us on the foul line, well, we might be a little shaky at the foul line with that group, but you're going to have to foul us so many times, your players won't be left in the game to play against us. So watch out for my team.
Coach, we're not playing in the backyard now. We actually got to play a real game with referees.
Come out and play against us. Show up. My guys will be there. Show up.
That is incredible because Sekou, I kind of anticipated that. So you're playing Shaq at the 5, right? I'm hoping.
Shaq can play wherever he wants, wherever he wants to be.
Kareem at the 4, Wilt at the 3. Timmy at the
Tim's at
Bill Russell's running the point?
Timmy's my point guard. He can handle a little bit. Well, we'll just pass it up. We'll just throw lob passes up the floor.
That's truly positionless basketball right there, Chris. That is positionless basketball at its finest right there.
That is a phenomenal game.
And I didn't tell you my first 2 subs, by the way, okay? Akeem Olajuwon, and then Moses Malone behind him. Those are the other 2 coming off, just to let you know.
I mean, you can at least have a shooter like Dirk Nowitzki.
I got Steph coming off my bench as my 6th man, so we're going to get some shooting on the floor. As soon as we run these big boys, tired, get them tongues out.
Look, there's Jordan over one of your big
lights
fellas.
out.
Okay.
You guys are in trouble.
No debate.
Jordan to shoot over another big fella.
Right there with me.
We may get 4 shots every time we miss at the basket. Remember that.
So, yeah, no point guard love for me.
I'm just going big.
Wait, Magic's a tall point guard.
I'm going big. I got my
going
guys.
big. I'm going home, and when we get our hands on them, they're going to be going home. Simple as that.
Sekou's thinking his team's going to win. That'll be a tough one. I think you'll have the wins in the post. You'll have the wins in the perimeter. There are 11 NBA games on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Start your day with us here on NBA TV. Knicks and Thunder take the court at 12:30, and it's a triple header on TNT, concluding with the Warriors and the Lakers.
Here in the league, James Harden.
No human as hot as James Harden.
It is all hard.
It's one of the greatest individual offensive runs we've ever seen.
The Beard also extended his streak to 18 in a row, scoring at least 30.
The step-back 3 is an iconic shot, just like the Skyhook, just like the Dream Shake. James Harden's step-back 3 is unstoppable.
He's perfected the step-back 3. It's unguardable.
Just continue to go and keep giving the opposing team hell.
Murray and Harden. He fell down. Man down. Man down.
James Harden puts you in the most compromising position possible on every possession. The way he plays, the way he attacks.
Like a running back, using the power to create space with his elbow and his shoulder. All of a sudden, he knocked this guy back like they're in a boxing ring. Bang, bang, bang.
Down to 3, down to 2, it's a 3. Good! Good! He got it! He's at the 3!
He's got a mastery of the game. Again, I haven't seen his whole life, but last 3 years, I don't know how you get any better than what he's playing.
Yeah, he's just extremely unique if you factor in just the overall offensive package. If you look at the volume of the shots that he takes for a team at an efficient level, I think that's the key. Then you add in the fact that his passing is at a level that's in the top 10 to 20 in NBA history. James has been leading the top offense since he's been in the league.
Oh, man, he's special, man. And he has a counter for everything the defense gives. If you force him right, he has counters going left. If you force him left, he has counters going right. There's really nothing you can do with him. You just have to hope he misses.
We got 40 games left to go. Like, it's outside of anything that we've ever seen.
So those shots you see him make at the end of games, he practices that stuff every single day. And to see him actually do it in games is pretty incredible.
Look, his whole team is hurt right now. At this point, I don't think there's any doubt about it. We still have half a season to go. Right now, James Harden is the NBA's MVP.
Step back. Oh! 57 points.
17 straight games with 30-plus points. That joins the most underrated player in NBA history, Elgin Baylor, and Wilt Chamberlain, the most statistically significant player in NBA history. Wow. Those are the only people to ever do that.
Guys, James Harden is on track to become the 6th player ever to average 35 points a game over the course of a season. He's got a ways to go, but this is a pretty good list. This would be the first since Kobe's 2005-2006 season. It has been a little while. It's not an easy thing to do. I want to look at this from the opposing team's point of view. You got the Rockets on the schedules you got James Harden coming to your arena, or you're going to theirs. what is your best chance of limiting his effectiveness, containing him a little bit, and coming out with a win?
10-day contract. Shane Battier, Bruce Bowen, and Michael Cooper. See if I can get them on. Okay,
they're all available.
And they're available right now for minimum, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
Minimum right now. I think you have to, first of all, you have to have the ability to change during the course of the game. I'm not sure you can give him 48 minutes of seeing the same exact defense. He's too smart. He figures it out. So maybe perhaps keep him off balance. And then you have to decide, do you want to stay one man on him? Do you want to take the ball out of his hands, try and double team him and make them have to pass the ball and other people make shots? Or the reverse of that is make him have to make every shot and don't let anybody else make shots.
Yeah, that's interesting, Coach. When we were in Phoenix during our 7 seconds or less run, Raja Bell was far and away our best wing defender, and he drew the short straw. He had to be the Kobe Bryant assignment. And we were driving ourselves crazy trying to figure out a way to slow Kobe down. And what we ended up doing was Raja would try to rile Kobe into making it a one-on-one, mano-a-mano matchup. Mm-hmm. And actually, when he clotheslined him that game, as you remember, it happened within the context of a playoff series where we were just trying to make Kobe want to take every shot and then limit the effectiveness of his supporting cast. The other component of that is when he does happen to give the ball up, you have to the best of your ability, in the case of James Harden, deny him the ball back. And that's easier to do when Chris Paul's not playing.
Right.
What I think is fascinating, though, during this run, because it's the regular season, you're not seeing any of the teams employ any of the tactics they might use in a playoff series.
Yeah, and you can bet all the staffs who could potentially face the Rockets in the postseason are cooking up all kinds of schemes that they're not going to reveal until a potential playoff series. So Houston will play Philadelphia on MLK Day, and you'll see Golden State in LA against the Lakers. And we hope to see more of Boogie Cousins, who had 14 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, and was plus 21 in just 15 minutes in his Warriors debut after nearly a year away following that Achilles injury. That happened on Friday against the Clippers. What'd you see?
Well, what I'm going to be watching for as he first starts to come back, and they brought him back as a starter in large part because the return to play protocol for someone with an injury of this type is going to be, once he gets loose, let him stay loose. Play him in bursts, and they did that. Now, they had to. He picked up 2 very quick fouls, so he played only 3 minutes. But I'm paying attention to what he looks like physically. And in this video breakdown that we've done, you're going to see some things from him mechanically that stood out to me initially. Here he's going to run a little pick and roll. He's going to slip here, dive to the rim. This is a 2-foot gather. Notice he puts very little pressure on the left, comes together with both feet and elevates. The reason this is important is DeMarcus Cousins is natively a 1-foot strider, and he wants to go off of the left foot. Here he went off the right foot. He tore the Achilles in his left. So what he really wants to do is stride into a 1-foot liftoff. You're going to see him do that here. KD makes a great pass. He had opened it up and beat everyone down floor, so he looks great running. Here it is, planting the surgically corrected leg. This is something that you're going to want to pay a lot of attention to because on a man that big who's a 1-foot strider, it's a big part of the reason he's never been overly efficient as a paint finisher. So it'll be interesting to see what happens coming back from this.
You're nervous when you come back from a surgery, whether it's a knee, something like that, an Achilles, but it can be done. But a guy this large, this big, going in, he had to have some concerns that I'm finally back. Now can I do what I used to do? So little by little, hopefully he'll get a little more lift. He never had a lot of lift,
right.
But maybe he'll get a little more lift. It's the strength we're talking about, and it's the confidence that he can do it.
Fortunately, his game was never really predicated on explosion per se. He's got so much skill. By the way, LeBron James on track to practice on Sunday. We don't expect to see him in a Laker uniform when they meet the Warriors on Monday. Lots more coming up here on Game Time, presented by State Farm. Homecoming night for Dwayne Wade, his final game in Chicago as the Heat hit town. And Kemba Walker hitting everybody all season long, including the Suns on Saturday night. You'll see that and much more.